Hello and welcome to another one of our tips videos. In this video we'll be talking about how we do Florida on a budget, because obviously we're not the richest people in the world, so we're going to share with you some of our ideas of how we keep our costs down and still have a good time.
And afford to go.
Yeah. So first things first, how much do we spend on a typical Florida holiday? So that includes, we tend to book it with one travel provider. We book a package. People do say you can get it cheaper if you book things separately. Yeah, sometimes it's the case, sometimes not so you just have to sort of shop around. But being as we're sort of like a family unit, we tend to just think it's easier and more convenient just to book it all as a package.
Yeah.
Typically we spend about between £3,000 and £5,000 on the holiday, which, like I say, includes the flights and accommodation, car hire, and the car insurance as well. Now you can save on this by choosing when you book. So for example, we book with Virgin, but obviously the tour operators do the same sort of thing, is they have a sale. So January sales, isn't it, the typical one, and sometimes you have like a summer sale. So you know, if you plan on ahead in enough far in advance, then sometimes you can take advantage of that.
It generally tends to be lower, kind of out of season, I suppose, as they say, sort of not the school holidays. The first year we went in May.
Yeah.
And it was quite cheap, really. Depends on the hotel you book us with as well, I suppose. But this time round, the one coming up in April, it's gone up to 5,000 for us. Just because obviously we had to move it and we're going in the school holidays, so yeah.
So if you've got children like us, that might not be a choice for you. You might have to go in the school holidays, but obviously if you can go during the school terms, then you will save a lot as well.
A hell of a lot, yeah.
Also, like Katie was pretty much saying, the time of year as well. If you're not too fussed when you go, then obviously there can be cheaper times, but do be aware that sometimes costs are cheaper because it's not the best time to go to Florida, i.e. during storm season, or sometimes in like February it can get quite cold. But if you don't mind that, then that's again when you save. So yeah, think about the dates, look at the school term calendar, you know, and that'll help you a lot. We also take about between £1,500 to £2,000 worth of spending money, and that normally serves us all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But obviously you have to watch your spending with that amount of money. If you're feeling frivolous, then obviously you can obviously take a lot more.
So generally we tend to stay off-site. We don't tend to stay at a Disney resort. We haven't done yet. We might do in the future, you know, if the price is right, but for now we just tend to stay on iDrive. Yeah, each time we've been so far we've stayed in a different hotel each time. We like to change it up. That can depend as well on how much you're spending. I think we're spending more this time purely because we're staying in a nicer hotel than we did last time. But yeah, so but iDrive's pretty good. You've got lots of things up and down it as well. Lots of restaurants to go and eat in, and like little gift shops which are quite cute to go for a nice evening stroll, and they got like a little amusement bits and stuff. So yeah, it's a really nice place to stay if you are on a budget like we are. It's a really good place to stay. There's trolley buses that go up and down to take you places. Most hotels provide some sort of service shuttle that will take you to Disney or Universal Studios. So yeah.
And you've also got the regular service buses, which is operated by Lynx. It's normally about $2 thereabouts a journey, so which is another convenient way to get around if you're not hiring a car, that is. The other thing to bear in mind is a lot of the time they will say that you'll get a better magical experience if you stay on resort. Yes, obviously you've got the Disney theming, but there are a lot of nice hotels off-site as well, so you still will have, you know, in our opinion, quite a good experience off-site as well.
Yeah.
You know, depends what you want really, but if you're on a budget like us, then off-site is the way of sort of getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you still get to enjoy Florida, and you still get to go to the parks, obviously, because you can buy tickets for your whole stay. And actually, I think it's because you generally hire a car, don't you? If you stay off site, most people do. It kind of I feel like it gives you a bit more freedom to kind of explore the rest of Florida as well, because Florida is Disney, but it's also Florida.
Yeah.
There are other things to go and see and things to do. So yeah, it's nice to do a bit of exploring as well.
And there's quite a few resorts where you can stay off-site. So like Katie said, we stay on iDrive. There's two parts of iDrive. There's the top end where you've got all the sort of souvenir shops, and sometimes they sell cheap tap, but generally, like Katie said, they're quite good. And then of course you've got the bottom end, which is slightly more, I think, upmarket, shall we say.
Yeah.
You've got like the the conference centre right at the bottom, and then like so you've got the Hiltons and all the nice hotels. Rosen Inn, which is the one that we're going to this time round, they've got a few hotels along the iDrive stretch. We're staying on the Rosen Inn International, which is the top end, but there's also Rosen Inn at Point, which is the bottom end, so same hotel but different location. Also, another advantage that we found at iDrive is if you're into Universal, you can literally walk there.
Yeah.
That's how close it is.
The first year we went, which we didn't vlog sadly, but when we went without Alithia before she was born, we went to Universal, and we stayed at the hotel we stayed in. You went up a little bit, and that's where the crossroads were to walk down to Universal. So it didn't take us very long to walk there at all. And actually, it made more sense for us to walk, because why would we pay for parking when we literally were there? So yeah.
And then you got SeaWorld, which is the bottom end of iDrive. And then a little bit further down you've got Gatorland, which is one that I did way back, which was quite a funny experience. So moving on to attraction tickets. So we buy our tickets from Attraction Tickets Direct. However, there are quite a few on there online. A little tip that I can give you is I follow on Facebook D-Wall, I think the name is. I'll put a link in the description. She has a Facebook group where she regularly posts literally like a spreadsheet of the current cheapest park tickets that you can get. That's quite good, so that's quite handy if you want to save a bit of money on your park tickets as well. But like I say, we tend to book with Attraction Tickets Direct, and again, it's like booking a holiday. It's, if you're a bit savvy with when you can book it, if you plan ahead, if you think about it early enough, you can plan when you book your ticket. Again, they tend to have sales, so you've got like the January sales, Black Friday sales, that's a big one where you can get some good prices. Attraction Tickets Direct tend to offer adult tickets at child prices from time to time. That's another good one. With that as well, you get a few extra freebies like the photo pass included, which is like
Memory Maker.
Yeah, $199.
They chuck in. I mean, this time round we've been lucky enough. You get a free magic band, aren't we? Yeah. But sometimes they'll chuck in. Last time we got an autograph book, which was quite nice. And you get little gift discount cards. We got a $25 gift card as well.
That was right last time, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think Attraction Tickets are really good at always giving extras. I think there are other ones as well, like Florida Tics that sometimes give little extras, but
yeah, that's another one.
I think they also give you a SIM card as well that you can use.
Yeah.
Whilst over there, we didn't know, but it's just little things like they just add in little.
They give you vouchers, don't they?
Vouchers,
as well? Yeah, shopping vouchers. Yeah.
Discount cards and things. So yeah.
Do sort of like shop around if you can, and like I say, plan ahead. The more you plan ahead, the more you can sort of plan when you're going to buy things. It does save you a lot. Talking from experience from an earlier time when we went, don't buy from the kiosks in America. There are ticket providers in America that are reputable through proper travel agents over there. That's fair enough. But we bought from a little kiosk here.
That was next to the hotel.
We were told that was the cheapest way of doing it, but you have to attend a timeshare presentation, which... That's
fine. I mean, the only thing I think we were lucky enough when we went back in 2012, they weren't using your fingerprint sign-in things. Like the booths where you present your card and all that lot, they weren't there.
No.
They were still, you would just show your ticket and go in or scan. I can't even remember, but I don't know how good these booths are now because obviously your card is linked to your fingerprint. these days, whereas before they weren't necessarily. What they would do is you would be able to say you were going for 2 weeks and only use 7 days worth. These booths would buy your tickets back off of you.
Right. Yeah, shouldn't do that. That's against Disney rules. So don't
I think
that,
but the one we went to, you went to a presentation, you'd get cheap tickets from we won't mention the name for reasons, but we went to a timeshare place. I expect people have been stung by them in the past. If you're clever enough, you can get your tickets and go. We were silly enough to invest in a timeshare, which we don't have anymore. We sought legal advice and we no longer part of that scam. So
don't do it. It'll cost you more in the long run, is what we're saying.
Unless it's for DVC, then that's fine.
Yeah, DVC is fine. Yeah. I mean, if you want to do timeshare, then that's great. But yeah,
for us,
we didn't. So.
No.
So moving on to another way that we sort our budget out is with the insurance. If you're hiring a car, think about the sort of car you want as well, because obviously the cars have different tier prices from small to large. You've got to obviously make sure that you can get all your baggage in on day one and the final day, but then you don't want something too hefty where you're paying a fortune in fuel, so you've got to think about that. But also the biggest cost we found with that is the insurance that you take out. So obviously the state minimum, like it is in England, is to cover the third party insurance. But they always advise you to have at least like a fully comp sort of thing. When with Virgin, I think other operators are the same, but Virgin you have obviously your third party, fully comp, and then your gold insurance. So your fully comp obviously includes your own costs in the event of an accident, and that's basically it, isn't it, really? Whereas the gold insurance with Virgin had that, and you got
a full tank of fuel.
Full tank of fuel, didn't you?
Car seat hire.
And sat nav hire.
Sat nav.
And you didn't have to fill it up.
Fill it back up when you could just leave it empty.
But with the other one, you have to put as much.
I think you put in as much as you take out, but then do they all start with a full tank of fuel?
I think generally they do. It depends on who you hire a car with,
but then you obviously
Alamo did.
So that's fine, but then just remember you've got to fill it back up at the end if you just go for the normal. I think it's called intermediate insurance, isn't
Otherwise, they can take it out on your credit card. They keep it on file.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with hiring a car as well, obviously check your contract thoroughly. Make sure there's no hidden costs, because that can add on to your unexpected, like plus upselling and whatnot can add to your budget as well, unexpectedly. And then we move on to eating. We mainly ate off-site a lot, didn't we? Of course, it's nice if you like Disney, for example, to have an occasional treat on site. But we felt that was more special, didn't we, when we did?
Yeah.
But more often than not, we'd eat on the sort of
the restaurants.
Tons of restaurants
that are down I Drive.
Yeah.
To be fair, we were better this time. The time we've just been a couple of years ago than the first time we went.
Yeah.
We ate out. We tried new places, didn't we? We went to, I think, Olive Garden, Chili's.
Yeah, they're all like the big chain ones, aren't they?
Pizza Hut, Domino's, places like that. So yeah, I mean, we probably will still find more. I think there's Golden Coral.
Golden Crow, yeah. That's all you can eat buffet, isn't it?
Yeah, and like ribs and stuff. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So there's lots of lovely places to eat out, and they're all along I Drive. You just got to drive up and down it and find them, but or walk up and down. Is it America's or Florida's largest McDonald's is right next to our hotel.
Yep.
Dunkin' Donuts. There's so many named places to go and eat at, which is really cool.
Yeah.
There used to be a Ponderosa, but sadly that's gone now.
$5, wasn't it? All you can eat buffet.
All you can eat breakfast. We just fill ourselves up on breakfast and then
pancakes, maple syrup.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we kind of cut back our costs with food.
Yeah.
So that then, like Stephen said, we go out to these sort of ones along I Drive, or if we're late back from Disney, we might just pop to Domino's on the way back and sort of eat that in the room before bed. But every now and again we'd eat on in the parks, wouldn't we? I think there's a few more places we'd like to try this time. We're hoping to take a bit more money with us because we've got a bit more time to save. So where we said we normally take between 1, 5 and 2, we might end up taking more this time, and we might be able to treat ourselves a bit more.
I think you've got to sort of think about what you want to do.
What you want to do, yeah, exactly.
If you want to go full out, if it's like a one-off holiday of a lifetime, then yeah, you might need to take a lot more than between £1,500 to £2,000, and it also obviously depends on your family size as well. But yeah, so you've got to think about what you want to do. But as a guide, like I say, we're a family of 3, and we take between £1,500 to £2,000, which gave us just over $2,000.
It was like 2-3 in the end.
Yeah.
We had a really good exchange rate.
And
That's
it's even
another
better
thing
now at the moment as well.
Yeah, that's another thing to look out for is before you go, watch the exchange rate sort of go up and down, and when you think it's at a really good point, get your dollars in if you can, or buy them in bits and bobs, you know, because it does fluctuate quite a lot.
Yeah.
So.
But at the moment, obviously, more and more places are just taking card only rather than cash. So you also got to think about, if you're just doing taking a card over there, what the exchange rate is on that as well. So obviously, if you're taking your own bank card, then obviously check with them before you go, make sure. Otherwise, there are quite a few good overseas banks like Monzo, Revolut, I think, tend to be the good ones to take with you, which are good exchange rates, so you'll get a good sort of deal with that.
We're going to look into them, aren't we, before we go?
Yeah, we are, yeah. And then another thing that we do to save money is we buy our essentials, such as breakfast items, lunch items that we take.
Water, drinks.
On park, yeah. We tend to buy them from like Walmart, Target, Publix. They're the good ones. Target, I think, was a little bit more pricey than the other two, but...
We went to Walmart a lot, didn't we?
Walmart it's basically Asda.
Yeah, we found a lot of things that Alithia would actually have, because she's been quite fussy when we went. Yeah. So yeah, we found a few things that we knew she definitely would drink and eat. So we kind of went back time and time again, didn't we? And yeah. I think we went there in a couple of days. Well, we went there most mornings in the end, didn't we? On the way out to Disney, just to sort of stock up on supplies. So yeah. I
think most people though. Following other people's vlogs, we noticed they sort of did what we did, like sort of day one,
bulk buy day one,
got everything for the week, and then that's it, done and dusted.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you want to do it, of course, but they're the best ways to go. So
Disney they will let you take off. Well, as far as we're aware, things might change, but as it stands, they don't check your bags and take your food and drinks out if you take snacks on. They're not that type of place. They're not that type of place where they say you can only eat Disney food whilst on Disney resorts. So. I mean, if they ever did that, it would be a big game changer, I think, because I think a lot of people spend enough on the tickets and don't want to be spending money on blooming bottles of pop. So, yeah. And
then finally, our final tip is for shopping. So we all know that's another thing we like to do when we go out there. Of course, you've got Disney Springs, which are offering more and more shops on resort. But there are a few malls and outlets that are off-site as well. So International Drive alone, you've got 2 outlet malls, one either end. So you've got the International Drive outlet malls at the top end, and at the bottom, closer to Disney, you've got the Vineland outlet malls. And then you've also got your 2 major shopping malls, which is the Florida Mall, which is it's on the Sand Lake Road, halfway between International Drive and MCO Airport. That's quite a large mall, isn't it?
I like that mall.
Yeah, not many people sort of go to that one.
We went there a couple of times, didn't we?
But yeah, we find it's quite a good one. And then you've got the Mall of the Millennial, which is sort of more or less opposite Vineland, isn't it? Right at the top end.
That one's a little bit more pricier.
That one is
it's got a bit more higher end shops. It's got a few other shops, but I think if you want a day out mall, I think the Florida Mall is definitely the one to find. The Millennium Mall's nice because it's got like a cheesecake factory and things like that.
But definitely one to experience.
Yeah, definitely go. But we went there on a rainy day, didn't we? And it was quite nice.
And they both got Bath and Body Works, haven't they?
Yeah.
Which is,
And the Florida Mall's got a Disney shop.
Yes.
Whereas the other one hasn't.
No, that's right. So if you sort of, after you sort of, like the malls you find in England, you know, sort of...
Ron John.
Yeah. then the Florida Mall is definitely one to do. Yeah. But the other thing is, at the outlet malls, both of them, Vineland and iDrive, they both have a Disney outlet store. So if you're looking for some former merchandise, which is not, when I say former, it's not like a year or plus old, it's like, you know, last season sort of stuff.
So I think like for a good example is if you're going just after Halloween, so when they've stopped doing like the Halloween like the parties and stuff, so around Christmas time, the outlets will have all the Halloween stuff that they didn't sell in their outlets. They don't tend to use the same stock year and year again. They always produce new stock every year. So it's a good way to get good merchandise, the stuff you really want, but at good prices.
It's definitely worth a look, isn't it?
I mean, we went at a really awful time of day because we went at the very end of the day when we got there the first day, and I think we need to go back again on another day earlier in the day.
Yeah, they say it
because we were looking. I really want a Spirit jersey. Like this whole video is about. We're on a budget, and Spirit jersey is just a little bit out of my price range from the actual Disney place. I mean, like I said, we've got more time to save spending money this time, so I might be able to buy an official Spirit jersey because we might have a bit more money. But if you haven't, don't panic. You can, if you go the right time of day and you keep checking, you might just find the Spirit jersey that you're after, or the Loungefly bag that you wanted for a really good price. So yeah,
it's definitely worth checking out. Even if you're not particularly after anything, just have a look. I think you might be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But like I say, they tend to have the best stuff at the beginning of the day, because obviously as the day goes on they do start thinning out, and it's just a bit of here and there sort of thing. But yeah, so that's how we do it. That's how we pretty much keep our costs down. Obviously it's still not the cheapest holiday in the world, but it brings it within our range, and sort of average families like us would probably do well to sort of try those things out, to at least help you along with the budget a little bit and make it a little bit more enjoyable. You get to do more by doing things like that, I think so.
And these are just our opinions, our way of doing things. There is no right or wrong way to do Disney. No. If you've got the money to splurge and you want to buy, like saying about buying your stuff from the outlet shop, if you want to splurge. If you want to splurge, if you don't, you don't have to. Like there's kind of there's neither not a right or wrong way to do it. So yeah.
That's right.
So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Press the bell icon.
Ding.
And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.